Good afternoon. This is Zev Nather coming to you live from CivTak25 in Washington, D.C., the capital. And it's going great. This is the second day. It's an unbelievable conglomeration of operators, practitioners, solutions providers, just unbelievable group of people. The brain matter going on here is amazing. We happen to have a booth here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to go around and visit with many different people. And my daughter is actually manning my booth over there and giving me a thumbs up that our audio is good. So thank you for that, Sivan. She's my fourth year ASU Polytech genius, specializing in drones. So she's the apple of my eye that did not fall far from my tree. Anyway, they say that the first person you have on the show is the most appreciated and the most special. And so I'm really honored and happy to have Michael Lucklider from Corona Fire. He is the guy who works with that is new to TAC. He tests things. He decides what should be put into action as part of their ConOps, and just an amazing guy. So I'm going to swing over my laptop to introduce you to Michael Lucklider. Hey there, Mike.
Hello. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So I guess we want to start with what is your impression of CivTak25, and what might you have learned or helped other people learn or enabled others?
Yeah, I think this showing for CivTak is absolutely amazing. Given that there are some circumstances that make it hard for some to get here, just the amount of people that are here under those circumstances really shows the dedication to the community. And it's just some of the concepts of how people are showing their use cases of TAC and how TAC is truly helping to save lives, prevent disaster, and really look out for public safety. Is just something that it's blowing my mind what I'm seeing other people doing. I thought we were on the edge, and I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, I didn't even think of some of this stuff.
What's interesting is that we have tables for the vendors who are showing their wares, but then we're having constant sessions in 3 different rooms. And so it's a plethora of prognostication for TAC, and it's hard to pick and choose which one you want to go to.
I wish there were 3 of me.
Right, exactly. Can you tell us what is, 1 or 2 of the sessions you might have gone to that made an impression?
Yeah, so my specialty kind of being the UAS side, I really try and focus on how and UAS can work together. There was a great session yesterday that talks about, with the new Part 108 regulations, beyond visual line of sight, how TAC may be that breakthrough for public safety. That may be that avenue that is certified by the FAA to allow this automated, beyond line of sight, dealing with air traffic in the national airspace in a way that we don't have to go out and prove something, buy a technology, and go to this some of these vendors and actually have a solution that is there for us already. I'm amazed how that TAC already answers all this bullet pointed list that FAA says you need to be able to do.
I have to agree with you. I was at that one too, and AJ was on there, and Mark Egan was on there, and Michelle Duquette, who I can't say enough great things about. Michelle and I have been friends for a couple of years. We've been involved in a couple different projects together, and she always brings clarity and strategery, as George W. Bush used to call it, to any conversation. She worked for, was it MITRE? Yeah, MITRE, connected to the FAA. She was a liaison there as well. She had also been an air traffic controller, I believe, or a dispatcher prior.
I think so, yeah.
So she really knows this genre. And what she said yesterday that really impressed me was that the FAA is not going to tell, I think, anybody what to do. They're going to bless what people bring forward and say, this is what we think should be done and what we want done. And so it's incumbent upon, the public safety, what is it? Public safety is, what's the name of the organization?
TAC Public Safety.
TAC Public Safety, thank you. For them to come up with some ideas, people like Mike. So it's the whole Part 108, how do we deconflict between drones that are delivering things? And obviously, I would think that first responder drones have the right of way and the right of moving forward quicker. So yeah, that was a very, very interesting one. Of course, Mark Egan was there
Mhm.
talking about UAS tools, which was great. So yeah, I agree with you. That was great.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is, when this Part 108 came out and they started talking about here's all the stuff you're going to need. Me in public safety, I'm thinking, okay, every single time that there's a new requirement, I'm like, okay, there's a dollar sign. You got to be able to detect air traffic. There's another dollar sign. So I'm seeing this like, oh my gosh, like I don't think my department's gonna be able to do this. And then we see that, yeah, TAC will do this, and you know what? It's not going to cost me anything or very, very little to my normal operation.
Brilliant. That's great. So is there something you saw here, technology wise, implementation wise, whether it's, multi-array antenna or a different communication system or a con-up of dropping Meshtastic, disposable Meshtastic devices in the wild? What did you see that you think you might be able to implement quickly and bring back to Corona?
So the thing I'm most interested in, I just got a presentation. So there's a company called Watchtower, and they are ATAC specific MDM, mobile device management system. So it's always been one of those tricky things: is how do you provision your devices? And most people are used to in this field how to provision phones, tablets, all that stuff, but the onboarding process of ATAC is often tedious because there's no configurations for a lot of this stuff. So being able to see the solution that Watchtower has, where not only can I manage my devices, but I can actively configure how TAC is going to behave. I can basically hand build a pref file that's going to show how on-screen behaviors, how toolbars are going to look, all this pre-done stuff that normally takes me hours and hours of working through my devices and repetitive touches. Like I'm now going to have a solution that it will just at a click of a button, my TAC is configured. I don't have to do anything beyond just register the device and hand it out. So that is something that I'm looking forward to as a time saver for me, as well as just making sure that I know that everyone's devices are going to be configured the way that my agency needs it, my cooperators need it, and in a way that just makes things easier.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, if you don't mind staying here for a moment, I am going to turn the camera around to show my table. So we are here as UAS Strategic, and what you see on the extreme left is our banner talking about the three solutions we're bringing. First one being drone responders, TAC working group. So we have volunteered for the job of providing TAC instruction, best practices, ConOps, SOPs, and so on to the drone responder community. So getting connected with drone responders is free. You just go out to droneresponders.org, or you can scan that QR code on my screen if it's wide enough or big enough. And once you get there, you join the TAC working group. The next thing we're doing is we are a value-added reseller for the Edge Scout Mini and Bravo for Nine Hill Technologies, and their kit is just unbelievable. They're the makers of the drone Hone, like hone in on something plug-in, which you may or may not use already if you're a TAC aficionado. And they have two models. The ES Mini, Edge Scout Mini that you see up there, requires a serial connection. It is magnetized, and so I keep a little metal plate that we with every sale we make here, and you let that magnetically affix to your EUD, and you use a 90-degree elbow cable, and now you've got that connected to TAC, and you're getting awareness with that little nub antenna for about a mile, but we also have other antennas that can go out 7 or 10 miles, so definitely talk to us about that. I think the most important thing that we're bringing to the table literally is the TAC-enabled ballistic whiteboard. And so what we have here is the best piece of kit hiding in plain sight. This could be a whiteboard that is sitting in a corporate conference room, in a house of worship, if an active shooter comes in, this will, there are two different levels, one that goes against pistol rounds and 7.6239, and then we have the 5.56 version. I'm going to swing it over a little bit, and you're going to see the whiteboard actually with two EUDs on it, and it could be one, but we did two to be able to show it on TAC, so everybody knows that this is a TAC asset, and we're using a GoTAC tag thanks to the wonderful benevolence of Matt DeSalto, one of my favorite people, who has given us that tag in order to display how it could be seen by the entire team on TAC. And then right underneath that, we have a designated EUD that is showing everything that a camera affixed to the device can see. So if you're ingressing or egressing, you're doing it with a much greater amount of protection. It's not just a shield that you're guarding yourself with, but you have your entire body behind it. And then when you egress, you can bring civilians with you, behind you, and see exactly what's going on in your entire situational awareness. You're gaining through that. It's a great piece of kit. That actual board is going to be delivered to a school in Northeast Pennsylvania upon my return on Monday or Friday. Okay, so that's enough about me. And we're going to now stand up. I'm actually going to join in on another device, which I'm going to call Rover, and that's my phone that I'm going to bring with me when we go to our next guest. Let me see here if I could pull this up. It's going to be under my mail. And, oh, wrong mail. And here it is. Going to get in and connect myself. Now, we might get some feedback for a moment, but I'll turn that off. There's that beloved feedback. All right. So now I'm going to bring that up on the stage, and we're going to go ahead and walk to our next victim. So let me see who that is. That would be Mark Halliday. So let's get up. And you want to join me, Mark, or do you have other things to do? Whatever you'd like.
Check and see what other things I see.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Excuse me. All right. We're going to walk over to Mark. Hey, Mark. Good to see you. We're approaching.
See you, Seth.
We can actually put this here for a short while I introduce you.
Okay.
And then we'll bring this over and show everything else. So here we go. I'm going to remove that from the stage. And I want you folks to meet Mark Halliday. Mark's with Mini Workgroups Limited out in the UK, but he does a metric ton of business here in the United States because his solutions are so amazing. Mark is a coveted and sought after resource in the TAC community. He's very giving, very benevolent, and people who are just starting out, he gives you all the time in the world for it, and that's why I love him so much. So, Mark, go ahead and give a little intro.
Thanks very much. It's good to speak with you again, Zev. As you say, we're really a small-scale provider. We describe ourselves as the diet version of TAC. So our core market is small organizations with limited budgets that don't have the scope to work with some of the bigger and more established players than that. So we tend to try and leverage open source products like TAC, like our TAC managers, based on open source software that gives a similar capability to CoTAC, but on a much simpler level, but still operate most of the actual capabilities in terms of scalability and user management.
Now, they might hear you, but it might be the module. You might need to amplify just a little bit. Okay. But yeah, that was brilliant. So who are some of your clients that you're allowed to speak about operational security-wise in the UK and here, if you can?
I wouldn't like to name individual clients, but okay. I think they're small sheriff's departments, principally, organizations between 10 to 50 users, that sort of size organization.
So within the SLTT world,
yes.
Being state, local, territorial, and
yes.
tribal.
Yes.
Okay.
And in terms of the Clever Touch, which we're going on to, that's started to pick up traction in larger organizations. So we're having discussions with a number of state guards about putting these screens in their tactical operations centers.
Brilliant. Well, what I'm going to do is, because since this is doing such a good job of showing things, is I'm going to use this as a display as soon as I learn how to get that right about like that. Am I good?
There you go. You're good. I can see that. So what we have in front of us here is a 65-inch native Android touch panel. Its ideal deployment is in a headquarters location. A lot of other vendors provide and focus on the end user. What we're looking at is what happens back at base, and how do we use TAC in a headquarters to make the response more effective, more efficient, and to cut out some of the delays. So what we're looking at here is a combination of our hardware screen with the CTI, who we're sharing a stand with, SmartCam 3D. This allows us to do live annotation on a video feed. So if you just look at this, this is
live.
This is the outline of a fire from a CAL FIRE Fireus aircraft. And one of the big things that they quite often have to do in fire management is produce fire outlines. How far is the fire spread? And that's quite a laborious task to do manually. Either someone has to walk it or fly it. But here we can take live video feed and simply draw quickly around the outline of the fire and end that, and as the shape is automatically transferred onto the map.
Brilliant.
And equally well, if we go into point dropper, other tools, get rid of that, bring up point dropper. There we go. We can simply drop points. So if we see something on the video, rather than have to describe it by voice, you can simply put it straight on the map. And when we go back to the map, you can see that the points are on the map, and then we can interact with them on either end, or so you're linking live video with the map. And equally well in a plans thing, you can see where a couple of people stood round the chart, so we're not having to look over someone's shoulder at a tablet. We can do all the planning that we need to do directly on the map, and rather than write on a flip chart or a whiteboard and then transcribe it, we can make operational plans here on the map. If you just want to do a quick plan, you know, send the troops here, rally points there, it's instantaneous, and it can be sent from TAC directly out to the units in the field.
So I'm going to enjoin us together here for a moment.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll have
Here.
there. Where am I going? There I'm going.
There
Okay.
you go.
So, you know, the first thing is that when I see him do this, I think of Tom Cruise in Minority Report. And just for that alone, it's worth it. But think about it. He's not connecting a tablet or an EUD to a big screen. That is the EUD. And so there's no lag and there's no requirement to make sure that that connection is squared away. And the price point is amazing. It's like, you know, for a high powered television, but the fact that it's touchscreen and you can do all the things you're doing with it, an amazing value. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And then the other thing I would just shout out, I can't show it because I haven't got it up, is our TAC manager. You know, for a lot of people, the TAC user interface on the TAC server is one of the clunkier bits.
Yes.
But in the very similar way that Kotak have done it, we've got an Active Directory backend, PHP-based web front end that allows all the users, group managers, segmentation, but at a somewhat cheaper price.
Right.
If you're in Colorado, go direct to Kotak, because that's the right choice. If you've got a state system, go to your state system. But if you're in a state where you don't have a system and you don't have much budget, we can offer you something really cheap that gives you all the capability.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Youssef,
All right, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Same. Excuse me, Ralph, this is live.
Yeah.
And the fact that you
Hi.
walked by, I had to,
Well, talk about it after lunch. Thanks.
the fact that you walked by Mark Halliday, first of all, is a testament to the fact that you think that it's good enough to take a look at. But Ralph Kohler here is a legend in the TAC community. I think you were one of the inventors of TAC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, sort of.
And so can you just give us a 2-3 minute impression? Well, tell us a little bit about who you are and give us your impression of CivTak25.
Long-term AFRO. I started working on mobile collaboration around 2002. Started the TAC program in 2010 with some other people, and have started that program in part to support the dual use community. And of course, CivTak is about supporting the dual-use community. This is the third one we've had, and you can see that it's really building momentum as we get more and more users into the civilian system. And I look forward to being self-sustaining and growing more, even more next year.
Can you give us 1 minute about your vision for an advocacy association type of group that will help represent and build?
So we have the TAC Public Safety Not-for-Profit, and I think that's where we need to go. But I think to make that work, we need to take the separate activities that you have from Colorado and Texas and South Carolina and California and others, and we need to coordinate them better, get them under one umbrella so that we can be supporting everybody, because we're much stronger together than we are separately.
Here, here. Thank you very much for taking the
Thank
time. Good seeing you.
You too.
All right. I'm just going to give you a down view of some of the tables that you see. Technology. We've got the folks over at Adeptus, my partner in crime for the Drone Responders Working Group, Tim Reed. We have Broyden here. And of course, there's my daughter who's about to graduate, helping me at my table. We have the folks at Catalyst, some great comm information. Let me move on to our next guest. All right, here we are. As you can see, the GoTac table is completely full because of the great kit and solutions that they provide. They're actually the folks that have helped make our ballistic board TAC enabled. And at this point, I'm going to try to meander my way over Matt and see if we can get some time with him. All right. Hey, Matt.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, Matt?
Excellent. How you going?
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
So here we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I wanted to come by and show people what it is that you provide. I'm specifically interested in the tag that you've so benevolently offered to us for our whiteboard. We really appreciate that. But we also want to talk about Chaonic, that you just became the distributor in the United States. It's a company called BChat, who I'm aware of and have spoken to. So yeah, let's talk a little bit.
Yeah. I'll bring you all those toys are over there.
All right. Sounds good.
So you want to hold the laptop
I
on the
do.
board. So here's the Chaonic 1S BChat OEM development board. This board has Mavlink enabled. It's going to be ATAC capable. It can do 6 megabytes of data throughput, video, voice, everything you want to do directly outside of this board. We're
Hold
working
on, I'm sorry. We just oh, there you are. Okay, I lost you for a
We're working
minute.
on integrating this board natively with some nice enclosures with bunker supply. But the whole point of this is to have the video capabilities and voice to with drones on a small little board here that are cost effective.
And the security is unparalleled, right?
Oh yeah, so what we're building on is going to be 1024 Kyber, which is quantum resistant encryption capabilities right inside the chip here. So
Excellent.
capabilities on there.
Awesome. All right, what else have we got?
Oh man, well we can go on for days and days.
Yes, we
but
can.
We've got some trackers here. These are the GoTac trackers that are standalone ATAC trackers. This is the B1, 30 grams. You can put them on canines, UAS, UGVs, anything that moves. And this is the larger model, the XL, that's going to be magnetic based. You can put them on vehicles, underneath vehicles.
That's what we have on our board now,
That's
right?
exactly what you have on your board. Yep, because it's the one with the magnet on there, and you'll be able to just clip that onto anything and start tracking directly inside of our ATAC plugin.
Really?
Very simple.
Talk to me about your detection devices.
Yep. So this over here is going to be the Sugar Cube. So these were used in Ukraine. There's 50,000 of them deployed in Ukraine right now. What makes these interesting is they're low cost or cost effective compared to other products out there that do wearable drone detection. So these are about $1,200, made in USA, NDAA compliant, and we're doing FPV video detection anywhere from 1.2 up to 5.8 gigahertz, and we're doing telemetry detection from 500 to 900. So typically, most of the FPVs these days are running on there. I know there's people up converting them to 7 gigs to 12 gigs now. So as things come out, it's a cat and mouse game and trying to detect that.
Do you have ADSB on that one as well?
No, that one's simply for FPV video detection.
Got it.
Over here we have, this is going to be the one, it's called the RIDAR Remote ID ADSB receiver. On this antenna, we're pulling in aircrafts up to about 80 miles. And then over here, we're doing commercial remote ID. So this is going to be able to pull in all your Mavics, all of your lawfully flying commercial drones. Both of those different SDRs inside here, they connect on TAC to your EUD just by a simple USB-C cable that we offer. These are made by our partner Nordic Development Industries. We flash all the software on there and make it really nice. So you have something that plugs into TAC, works with Drone Hone here, and works with ADSB Direct over there.
Wonderful.
Very simple, cost-effective airspace awareness.
And then what do you have here? Solace Communications?
Yes, so Sauce Communications, our UK partner, that's called the Global Link. That's going to be our 5G backhaul. So underneath the hood there, we have a Sierra wireless router, which is going to be military-grade router with all different kinds of inputs and outputs. On the lid here are all different kinds of antennas that facilitate those strong 5G connectivities. Then you have a rugged military spec battery that's going to last 24 hours. So on the back, you have the WAN and the LAN. You can plug the WAN into a Starlink connection and the LAN to your mesh radio connection on your Trellis radio, your Silvus radio, whatever you want to use for mesh.
So are we calling this Pace in the Case?
That's actually an awesome name. It's Pace in a Case. Yeah. So Global Link, Pace in a Case. And then you have dual SIM card capabilities, and this works anywhere in the world. So you can take your SIM, pop it in, and start getting that 5G backhaul to your network in a small form factor Pelican case.
My trademark and copyright attorney will be in touch with you.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we did very well on our beer distillery that we put together.
Okay.
We call it Responsibly. So now when everybody says drink responsibly, we're making money. So we'll do
That's
the
a great
same
name.
with Pace for Case.
That's a great name. I love it.
What else do we have? Anything else you'd like to show us?
We have the EUDV3 here. So the EUDV3 is our non-Samsung EUD offering. It's running through the Mac ecosystem. So we have the Bunker Supply Scout battery here.
Brilliant.
This gets 10,000 milliamp hour battery. So you can do 2 full phone charges on your device.
I love those.
And then this is a modified Pixel 9 with a custom operating system on there with a really nice case. If you take a look at the case here, really nice, made by Bunker Supply specifically for the EUDV3. And then you have the chest mount. And what makes the chest mount really nice compared to other models out there is the chest mount's actually modular. So besides the modular capability of adding in the battery, the rails here can be swapped out. So if I want to move over to my Samsung S23 Tactical or whatever it is, all I have to do is swap out these rails for $20, $30, and I don't have to buy a whole new chest mount in order for me to mount my devices.
It looks like you might be able to offset that to one side or the other.
Yep, you can offsite. So if I want to, run it a particular way, I can run it this way, or I can pop it out and run it that way. What's really going to make the difference is where your battery or where your power button's going to be. Yeah. So, it is modular in that respect, but at the end of the day, it depends on if you need more access to your, extra button over there or the power button.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you,
Let
sir.
me see how I get you in there with me. All right.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank
We're
you.
going to move on to our next guest. My apologies, we lost power and lost communications, but we are back. Hopefully folks are still on the screen. I wanted to introduce you to V or Vasilios. Let me just get that up right here. There we go. Vasilios is with EOTech. You may have known him from VK, but he is now leading up EOTech and their EOTech project. Wonderful, wonderful person, wonderful organization. I'm a shooter, use a lot of EOTech kit as well. So I'm really excited to hear where things are going and where, what you've got that you might be able to show us today.
Yeah, so essentially everything that was VK Integrated Systems is being rebranded as EOTech. And so now we don't have a TAC server, we have a EOTech server.
Brilliant.
So weapon sensors are getting an upgrade as well. So at SHOT Show, you'll see.
So they have these sensors that will go into the grip that will let you know where your asset is on tap. They also have it on buttstocks for AR style models. And what other types of firearms related kit are you tacking up?
So we're focusing now on how to tie all this stuff into optics. And so, the natural progression, EOTech makes awesome optics. In fact, used by, the holographic weapon sights used by SOCOM.
Right.
So how is it we can take our technology and integrate it in there so the user gets some benefit? So that's one of the projects that, we've been working on. You got to have the optic, you got to have some sort of cool information, a user benefit.
Wait, am I seeing a heads-up display through my reflex dot? Am I
We
correctly?
actually demoed a version of that at ISOF Range Day and out in Knitter Range, just north of Vegas. So
How did that go?
got a lot of notes from users, a lot of things that we can upgrade, quality of life improvements. Biggest of those is the ATAC plugin. So you'll see the updated ATAC plugin go live at SHOT Show.
Excellent. All right. What else should we be looking for now? That you could tell us about? Is there something on the screen we could see that we could put in front, or
Jack?
anything you'd like to show? All right. I'm going to turn this around.
So everything got a fun facelift and some quality of life improvements. Go ahead and tell them about Mars.
Yeah, so this is our mapping after action review system.
I'm going to ask you to amplify just a little.
Yeah, so this is our mapping after action review system. This is from October 29th, a couple of weeks ago. This is for the Kentucky State Police Special Response Team. We're doing a pilot phase program with them right now. And this was an example of a call out they had, and they were streaming all of their data from a decentralized database in Mars and seeing where all their pings were, the heat map. So if you scroll in here, they started right here. It was a vehicle chase.
Okay.
We've also watched them doing live demos on barricaded suspect, real call outs, and streaming all of this into our after action system. So they've been loving it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to ask them to look the other way while I pick up some swag that they've got. Bottle opener.
Take a few extra.
And this is definitely going on my plate carrier. Thank you. Wow. Well, thank you. This was great. I appreciate you taking the time. And I hope you're being successful here. It looks like a lot of people are coming by. So.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Thank you. All right. We're going to go over to Samsung next. And I'm going to bring my other device on the stage. In case we get lost. There we go. All right. Amos, how are you?
You ready?
We are ready. We are live, actually. Whoever would like to be on, let me put this remover over because we don't need it. And can I put it on the table here?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, just say where you want.
All right, great. All right, so here we are at the Samsung table, more like a booth. They got a lot going on here, constant traffic going on. This is Amos Halava, a friend and a TAC practitioner, operator, innovator, strategery guy, really knows everything you'd want to know about an EUD. So tell us a little bit about your impression of CivTak25, and what you might have learned and what you might have been showing new for the very first time while you're here.
Yeah, so this event is invaluable to the whole TAC community. There are giants in the community here today that are innovating and showing stuff that is always new. There's always something new you can do. And of course, as some of you may know, I did 21 years in law enforcement. I ran a TAC server I still do, for my community in Tennessee. Because the power of this tool, it's really hard to wrap your head around. And the reason I took this job at Samsung was when you are going to affect a mission and you need to rely on your device, it's got to be a good device. It has to work. We all know that ATAC is the premier version of TAC, right? So if you're going to run that, you're going to make sure you run that on a decent device. It's just like if we're going to go get guns or cars or vests, we're going to want to make sure that we have the best one. And that's kind of our stance. It's like, look, you got your special forces guys downrange, they're using Samsung devices. And so what we're just showing here today is it kind of goes around 3 or 4 things that we got here. Our rugged devices, because a lot of these guys need a good rugged device out in the field that can take the high temperatures, low temperatures, and be able to be touched with a glove on, or with something else besides just your bare finger, depending on the environment you're in. So we have our tablets, we have our X, and Dex is the second thing.
Should I pick this up?
You want me to showcase a little bit? Yeah,
let's do that.
So we can do that. One is this is a Samsung tablet in a Juggernaut case, extremely durable in this kind of form factor here. We also have the wearables. So you got your Samsung watch. There's a group here that runs a version of TAC that runs on the watch that feeds your biometric data and your location. AIT, Ascent Integrated Tech.
Ascent, okay.
They have Wear TAC that they're showing here. Oh, also, don't forget the little Samsung football if you're here and you want to come by. But this right here is Dex. So this, if you go down just a little bit, what you can see here, this is an Xcover 7 Pro. This is our rugged handheld running a desktop version of Android. So I got like a video plan here. You can see this works very much like Windows.
Mm-hmm.
So you got multiple pane environments. You can go in here, but I also have a keyboard and mouse that I can interact with that with. So think of, using your mission planning, whether you're using WinTAC, but maybe in your EOC, you need your plugins, right? You can actually use your Android phone as a desktop and then do all your plugins, everything you need in ATAC, and even feed that up to your video wall if you're going to share that out amongst everybody else in your emergency operations center.
Amos, did you put up a guns range on the map there just for me?
A guns range?
Yeah, look at that. It's right on the map.
Yeah.
Barnett's. I'm going to have to go
Indoor
visit
gun.
that.
Yeah, come visit me. I live like right here. So it's less than about a mile from my house.
All right, I'm
there.
going to need to see a good range for sure.
Other stuff, if we're just showing some tablets here, but then also we have Dex running on a regular monitor. So don't think of Dex as just your portable out in your car or in your boat or whatever it is that you're using, but Dex could be in your office, in court, in your evidence room, logging evidence, whatever way you need it. You're taking your computer with you. You're not having to log out of one device, log into another one everywhere you go. With just a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse, you can have a full desktop version of your software that you're using on your device. And it's just your device, the one that you carry around with you as you go. You're not having to do that multiple work. So that's really kind of what we're showing. Of course, with the display, it timed out here because everybody went to lunch, so I didn't keep it up. But everything from our displays to EOCs, rugged devices. We got one rugged device here in a Gamber Johnson clamshell. So you have a keyboard and a mouse that you can use right here attached to the device.
That is amazing. Hey, and there's Michael. He was our first guest today.
Great guy. You did good with him.
Yes, I did. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here for you and I to look at it because I got 2 questions from the viewers.
Yeah.
Question number 1 is, with the advent, and I think I've asked you this before, with the advent of TAC plugins becoming more robust for weapons dropping and other things that those gloved operators need to touch, are we looking at larger screens coming out to enable more real estate for the application?
Yeah, and that's where, depending, you're good right there. Depending on your mission. And now this is a Fold 6. The 7's out. It's half this size. So this is just a regular like cell phone, but then you open it up and you got a tablet. And so we are seeing that need. You know, that's great for TikTok, right? I can watch my TikTok videos on a bigger screen, right? But for a true operator, somebody who's going to be using this downrange, I got my phone when I need it, and then I can pop that thing open, and I'm working off of a tablet and a size device without having to carry two devices or log into two pieces of equipment. We're seeing a lot of these being used by your command staff.
And what model is that?
This is the Fold 6. We actually have a Fold 7 now that is almost half this thin. So I don't have one with me here to show you. The guy who has it just left for lunch.
Okay.
But
So is Juggernaut, let me see that for 1 second.
Yeah.
Have you been working with Juggernaut to have a case where it's like this, and then at the bottom, they might have some kind of a rotating,
to pull it out,
so that you can open this up and then bring it back up and give it some stability, as Cartman would say.
I would have to ask the Juggernaut guys where they're at on that now, because they have to have a certain minimum before they'll make something. I haven't seen one yet. It doesn't mean they're not making it, right? We have a lot of those that we go through. But if you need so one of the jobs that we have on the public safety side of Samsung is it's helping you find the right device for your mission. If you need push to talk and you need a dedicated push to talk button and an emergency alert,
you'll make it.
We have those. So, you could be that you say, I need AI at the edge, which is like the live translation stuff, because I may not have internet, but I'm talking to people in another language and I need to be able to communicate. We have that. So it's making sure you find the right device for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then that gives you a capability, and so do you need that capability at the edge? Do you need it just when you have the internet? Let us help you find the right devices for your agency. If you're in an area with high temperatures or low temperatures, you may definitely want to move to something like the X-Cover, because it can work in those temperatures, or replaceable batteries. If you have a problem with heat causing them to swell, hey, we got one that you can pop the battery out, put a new one in, and you're ready to go. You don't have to buy a whole new device. It's that kind of stuff. Even the Tab Active 5 Pro, that's just been released, has two batteries in it, so you can hot swap one then the other, so you don't ever have to power down the device and you can keep your system running. And that was just Samsung listening to customers, like, what do you need? And then building that solution that fits that need. So we're not taking a consumer device that is used to literally only look at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram all day, but actually making devices that are on the business side. It's a business class device. It's rugged. It's literally tested by soldiers downrange overseas, affecting their missions, and we know it works.
Now, I know you work with Juggernaut, and you probably have other case manufacturers that you work with. How tightly connected are you with them that once you start putting something on the drawing board, they can currently come up with something that when it's released, they've got something they could send downrange?
Yeah, so that's one of my jobs is we work with all of our partners, and Tim Lee, who's here also that you probably met, is to go to the manufacturers. There's a bunch of them. There's Gamber, Havas, Ram. I can't even name them all, but they all make really good products, including the case manufacturers like OtterBox and different ones, Juggernaut, and making sure they have the CAD file that when the design is finalized, hey, look, here's the CAD file. This is what you need to make it fit, and this is the shape, so that the day we release a product, they can have their stuff ready.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question here, which is probably the most significant, is Samsung is a quality company with manufacturing, like, they got it down. They know exactly how to make it happen just in time with quality control. When are we going to see Samsung DFR drones? When are we going to see Samsung tactical drones? Tell me, when's it coming?
I haven't seen that. I really haven't. But, some of the new stuff that we do have is the new XR goggles, right? And, I was showing today a group that you can do the augmented reality in ATAC. And we were discussing, like, how beneficial it would be to be able to put on like a goggle headset that you can still see through, but then have a complete augmented reality view, whether you're controlling aircraft or people at a scene, and having just one way that you could just look around and you're inside the TAC environment, instead of watching it on a screen.
Right.
So I don't know where that's going to go to, but that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm personally looking forward to exploring. My XR got delivered Tuesday. I'm here till Friday. So I don't get, my kid's already Iris locked it to himself. So I may not even get to use it when I get home. But he and I'll have that discussion when I get home. But yeah, I don't know on the drone side. I haven't seen anything. We have one of the guys, I'm not sure if he's going to make it here, DJ, but he would know on anything like that. I personally haven't seen anything, so I don't know.
All right. Well, walking up now is Ken Raven. Let's see if he's got time. Ken?
Yeah.
Do you have time to go live stream with us? We've got All Things Tech.
Are you live?
We are live.
This is amazing.
This is the man, Ken Raven.
Like technology at work.
And it works, right?
So I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'll steal your show.
Okay.
I'll tell you, this morning was possibly one of the most inspirational moments that I've ever had at a conference. We have two presentations that I believe are going to reverberate globally and are going to create a force. First briefing today from Brad Schmidt at Colorado with the COTAC program.
Mm-hmm.
Brad explained, how do we create a tax system for a large region that can be scaled and flexibly administered? Oh, and then augment it with clever software that can tie into the existing systems that are used everywhere in public safety.
So not have to federate hasty.
Oh, forget about
it's
that.
There.
It's
all
just
gonna
a
be in
natural
place.
link to things like Axon body-worn cameras. Where are my police officers?
All right.
Without a heavy lift, they did it. It's amazing.
Wow.
So this is going to be on video with a TAC Public Safety nonprofit. We'll be creating YouTube videos, and you will be able to see what Brad talks about. I tell you, around the world, people need to look at Brad's video to understand how to make TAC viable, scalable, deployable. Well, why go through the effort? Well, the next presentation that we heard was from Texas Department of Public Safety, from the game warden.
Was that Dustin?
Dustin.
Yes.
And then the agent out of Texas Department of Public Safety, Agent Tristan, who responded to the Kerrville disaster that killed so many young people, so unfortunately.
Right.
And they dealt with that disaster, and the presentation they gave about how they progressed and scaled that incident from a few people on the ground to 1,000 or more over days, weeks of recovery after the rescue.
They couldn't have done it without that.
And in that presentation, they went through the impact of the drones and being able to use airspace deconfliction.
Airspace awareness, deconfliction.
Oh my gosh, everything comes together, and TAC ends up as the unifying media to provide that geospatial awareness elements. And we have this is such a transformational point, because so many people in the United States public safety community use Apple devices.
Right.
And the work that Corey Foy has done with
TAC
Aware to make this viable. Oh, down in Texas and Kerrville, as they're struggling, they start tapping TAC Aware, and it answers, it responds.
Because they get no plugins in iTAC.
It's just amazing what advantage in real time. Drone Sense, providing the airspace awareness and tied into TAC, the picture comes together. So on a nice, beautiful day, when nothing's going wrong, do you need TAC? Probably not.
Right.
And for many public safety agencies, we're very fortunate. We have blue days all the time. So you get lazy.
Right.
Why should I invest in TAC? Why should I train in TAC? Why should I have it
It's the
deployed?
old warrior gardener metaphor.
Yeah.
So to your point, though, we don't use our guns every day,
Mm-hmm.
but we still go to the range and train on them.
And proficiency.
And it's because that's important. The day you need it, it's not the day to train for it.
Amen.
And so that's why using TAC every day keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
Keeps you using it so that when that event happens, it's not how do I do that? It's like, let's work through this, because you can take anybody in this room and throw any problem at them, they'll solve it as long as they can talk.
Amen.
And you take communications out of that, and now we're talking about two different things, but we don't know that. we're trying to solve a problem, but we're talking about two different pieces. And that's where TAC can bring that together.
Well, we've done so
But you
much.
gotta
We've
do
had
it
so much progress with voice interoperability. We've done nothing with data.
Right.
Yeah,
I
And
need to
TAC
move on to our
provides
next
that
one.
unifying
Yeah.
layer.
Right.
All right, I need to eat lunch.
Thank
I
you,
need to get
Pat.
slides ready.
Thank you
guys
so
take
much
care.
for everything.
Thanks to everybody who's watching and who cares about the future of data interoperability for geospatial information. Interoperability that saves lives. So thank you guys for coming to the event. Cheers.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Amos,
Thanks,
thank
Zach.
you very much.
Yes,
We're going
sir.
to move on to our next spot. All right, great. All right, here we go. Quick cameo appearance by Lyndon of Drone Shield.
Hi there.
One of
G'day.
my favorite meets, g'day. One of my favorite meets here at CivTak25. He had a brilliant conversation with Corey Foy. Looking forward to see where that goes. So good to see you.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to move over to the Public Safety Board meeting and see if those folks are out yet. Oh, meeting in progress, so that tells me something. All right, we're going to move down a little bit. Oh, I just passed GoTenna. Hi, we're live stream. Would you like to come on for a moment?
You there?
Yeah, we're live streaming right here. All right, and your name?
Hey guys, Mike Bergen at GoTenna.
Good to see you. He's here at CivTak25.
That's right.
They have a
GoTenna
table
Pro
here.
X2
Tell
right
us
here
a little
for
bit
you.
about that.
So we care about at GoTenna providing communications for the operators of the most important information at the most important times. So we do this by leveraging our GoTenna Pro X2 radio. Easily pairs to a phone, just like a pair of Bluetooth headphones. And we're a transport layer for TAC. So that's why we're at CivTak. So
And you can only use one at a time?
what's that? Well, no, I was saying we create our own ad hoc mesh radio network that's completely off grid. So it's a really good way for operators to stay connected when they're off grid or they're in areas with cell phone denied environments, so they don't want to use host nations' cell phone infrastructure. So this is our Pro X2 with our Go Kit 2. Really good way to charge and store the radios. If you are in the Washington D.C. area, you should come by. See it.
Definitely. What is your, I'm going to put this down for a minute so you can give us your impression of CivTak25. What is your impression as an attendee in the knowledge you've accumulated, as well as what kind of traffic have you gotten to your table?
So really good traffic, both domestic and international. I think what's different this year is the big focus around interoperability. A lot of people talk about, kind of bring your own device, bring your own phone, which I think is great this year. Also, I think one of the resonating messages, which is really cool, is the things we talk about here, whether it's through CAL FIRE, state and local, Fed Civ customers, the things we talk about here are going to save someone's life in the future. So if you adopt TAC, if you use off-grid mesh networking, mesh comms companies like GoTenna, if you use TAC, in the future, someone's life will be saved and they won't even know why, right? From a situational awareness perspective. And I think that's really cool. It's really compelling to really get with the industry leaders, the industry changers in this conference and have the potential to save lives in the future. So that's what's most exciting for me. It's
Great.
great
I'm
to
going
be
to
here.
turn this around for a minute because I want to give you their URL. They really are a force in the industry, and if you're doing anything in TAC, you need to get to know gotenna.com. So it's GOTENA.com. Is Ms. Shosha, is she here today?
She'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to take that with me. Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
We're going to
Good luck
move
with the
on.
conference. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Let's find our next victim. It's lunchtime, and so a lot of people have escaped because they've heard that I'm prowling. We're waiting for the public meeting to be finished so that we can interview AJ. Hopefully he'll get out in time.
I think the only thing I did that
And do one more once around. There's the booth and the daughter. Okay, it looks like we are out of luck. So I am going to sign off and thank everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed the information. You can always come back and view it once the live stream is done in about 5 minutes. You can see it both on the All Things TAC channel on YouTube, or you can see it off of LinkedIn. All right, thanks again. Take care. That was great.